Hey, once again, I think we're up to about episode 5 now. So welcome to my Hot Wheels life. And today is probably going to be one of my favourite episodes because I'm going to show you all of this Comic-Con stuff. Now, if you're not familiar with Comic-Con, it's basically a pop culture festival, and the biggest one in the world is in San Diego. And Hot Wheels teamed up with Comic-Con to bring you some of these exclusives that are only sold in Comic-Con. Now and then you can pick up a few extras on the Red Line Club, but today I'll be opening some of these up and showing you how they work. Some of them have music. It's always the authentic, proper licensed sounds. So there's Star Wars, there's DC Comics, there's Simpsons, there's Batman. It's fantastic. So I've managed to collect a fair few of these over time, and I'm going to show you what they all do and how they all work. So some of these things are really a great jewel in your collection if you're lucky enough to own a few of them. So how about we have a look at these further. Now I hope you've been enjoying my Hot Wheels life. I'm going to be coming at you once a week, maybe even more, and I'm going to be trying to show you as much of the stuff I can in my collection, and showing you how it all works and telling you a few stories along the way, and hopefully teaching you a few tricks and that I've picked up over the years. So if you're liking the channel, please like and subscribe and share as much as you can too, because I've got my collection here available for everyone and I want to share it. So as I say, like and subscribe, but let's get into it and I'll show you some of these unique pieces. So here we are, and this is my kitchen. All of my Comic-Con stuff I leave in a cabinet upstairs because it's sort of high end and it's nice when people come over. I don't have the house full of Hot Wheels, that's mainly downstairs, but what I do is I keep all Comic-Con stuff upstairs because now and then my little one likes to play with it, and hopefully if she gets home soon I'll get her to press some of the buttons for you, because she loves operating some of these Comic-Con stuff. So let me just make it clear first. So Comic-Con's if you haven't heard already, is a pop culture festival, or convention I should say. There's several of them, they're around in every country, but the one in San Diego, Hot Wheels and Comic-Con team up to bring a great lot of exclusive products out. They're only available usually at Comic-Con, and as I said in the introduction, there's a few that sometimes spill over to the Red Line Club club that you can buy online after Comic-Con's done if they've got any left. So what you will find is, I've got A-Team, Back to the Future, Star Trek, Star Wars, there's 007 here, DC Comics, Batman, some Marvel stuff, and it's just fantastic because they actually make proper sound effects and sometimes moving parts, and who doesn't get excited when they see something like this. So first of all, I'll show you one of the probably less interesting ones, but still kind of cool. This is a bone shaker. Now I know there's a lot of bone shaker collectors out there, but this is the what they call the Loyal Subjects bone shaker, and that was released at Comic-Con. It's got its own collector card in there, and there's a few that were available. So first of all, we've got the collector card there, and all of the other options on the back. I won't show you those yet, but you can do your own research with that. Now here it is, and it's here we go. Come on, focus. There we go. So look, there's a bit of detail underneath. It's a pretty cool little bone shaker there. So it's all sort of course not Hot Wheels scale. It's a little bit bigger than that, but it's still a pretty cool piece. Okay, so now let me show you this. Now this was my first ever Comic-Con piece. So what we do have here is basically the VW in there, and of course shaped like a video game. Now once you press the button, Asteroids. Absolutely fantastic little piece. That was my first ever Comic-Con piece, and that was the one that sold me on the idea of collecting Comic-Con stuff. And once I did my research, I found out there was heaps of other Comic-Con stuff, and it was all really interesting. Now I've actually got a whole lot of more pieces that are with my hub in the US at the moment, and I'll probably do a Comic Con Part 2 episode up in the future when I get those pieces in, because some of them are really good. I've got the Incredible Hulk coming. I'm looking forward to that. Now what I do have is the Thanos helicopter. Now this is obviously Marvel. So Marvel have teamed up with Hot Wheels, and what they've done is they've done a cube here, and there's Thanos in his helicopter. Now hopefully I don't get too much reflective light there. Hopefully there's enough to see. But real cool little piece. A little bit cartoony sort of for my liking, but in saying that, you know, a helicopter that looks like it's in the sky, hence the blue of the cube, that's a pretty cool piece too. Okay, so we've got another Marvel piece here. Now this is the Punisher set. Let me get close here. So what we do have is we've got two cars in the top, right, on the top of a building. Now hopefully you can see the building there. Hopefully there's enough light for you. What we do have is we've got the little button on the front, so when you press that you can see the lights flashing inside. I won't be able to hold it close enough for you to actually look inside, but what you do have is in there you've got stills of a fight scene, and so when you're looking through and you press the light, when it's flashing on the fight scene, it gives it a little bit of a call to action. So that'd be the Punisher with look, real rubber wheels on everything, because it's actually quite a high quality model. Okay, who doesn't like Harley Quinn? Australia's own Margot Robbie, acting in Suicide Squad. This is another Comic Con piece. Let's crack him open without breaking or busting anything. So as you can remember the scene in the movie where she's in her cage and she's hanging on the swing. What they've got is they've got the stylised Harley Quinn car there with all her colours and her logo, and then they've got obviously the cage, and you can see what I'm supposed to do is I'm supposed to take out that plastic support there, and then the car will actually swing on the swing just like Harley Quinn when she was locked up. So kind of cool piece. Doesn't actually do anything, this one, but you know, the whole cage and stylised car, it's pretty well thought out. I don't mind it at all. Okay, so let's take a little break from superheroes and let me show you this. Alright, what we have here is the Homer. Alright, so the display case is fantastic, and what we do have here, and I'm so sorry folks, this is one of the ones that does have a feature. When you turn on the power, unfortunately batteries are flat and I'm out of batteries. I should have thought ahead, I'm sorry about that. But what we do have is we have this wonderful metallic, actually I can take this out of the container. Okay, so we've got rear riders, we've got anodized metallic paint job. It is sensational. I'll get out of frame so that will focus properly on that. Now that is the nicest Homer they do. It's so much better than the any of the retro entertainment series or any of the other pop culture stuff that they make. This is the best Homer they do. Now what happens is when the battery's in, you turn it on, and then every time you open the box, just the vibration actually will make this spin around in the display, and he does the good old Homer woohoo, which of course, excuse my woohoo, I'm not very proficient at that. So basically there, it's got a little bubble, and such a cool piece because, as I say, when you pop it open and it spins around, but I can't show you that today. So maybe in episode 2 of my Comic Con, I'll bring this back for another appearance, because then I'll have batteries. Once again. Okay, so James Bond. So they've obviously had the 007 license. Now it's interesting that I should mention that, because something happened when the Ferrari license was passed on by Hot Wheels, and I'll go into that in the Ferrari episode, which will be coming up in a couple of weeks. But let's just say that the money that they spent on, or they were spending on Ferrari, opened the world up to a lot of different licensing. And so I think That's why we've seen so many James Bond cars since around 2013. Now have a look at this awesome piece. This is the Aston Martin, and it's got its own display box. So as we'll open it here, as we open these, if we can do that evenly, it'll progressively lift up the car. And look at that. Absolutely brilliant. This is obviously the best Aston that they do. This is full chrome piece, and obviously a display case like this is second to none. So once again, James Bond, pop him open and it progressively lifts out of its box like that. Fantastic piece. Hopefully there's more Bond cars to come with the Comic Con exclusives. Okay, so let's say that probably as far as cars go, Batman and DC Comics have a huge following, just like Hot Wheels. So when you combine the two of them, you are looking at some pretty good pieces. So I've got actually 4 pieces that are DC, Batman, and I'll actually show you, I might show you probably the least impressive one first, so that way the least impressive one doesn't seem that bad when if I show you the best one first, it'll probably spoil it. So what I've got here is, this is one that I just got in my last hub box. This isn't a particularly expensive one, and what we do have is we have a bat plane that opens up. So here we go, we're opening up the box. Doesn't do anything here yet. So, but what we do have is we have a bat plane. Now, this is made out of folded cardboard, so it's probably a little bit disappointing that it's not made of plastic, and you have to be pretty careful. But where the good part is it's actually a carrier for. Come on. So, out of the front comes. There we go. So it's this DC Batmobile with rear riders and a moving turret. So maybe I can't. What I might do is I might show you some of these that are hard to see. I'll inset a photograph of this one with all its glory in the light, because it's quite a nice piece. Okay, so the next one we've got the probably one of the more popular Batmobiles from. Okay, here we go. So what we've got here is we've got probably the same Batmobile that was released in the Retro Entertainment series. So hopefully you can see in there. If not, I will put a picture inset. So what we do have is we have a press-up bottom which actually shows the cover, the armour plating that covers the car. So I think I will need to do with that one. There's not enough light here for me to show you, but it's got the armour plating, and then you press the button and it's as if the armour plating comes off, and vice versa. So button at the bottom, button at the top, and that will show you the Batmobile there. So that's a pretty cool piece, and of course, you know, having 2 pieces in one that you can switch around like that is probably a nice novel idea. But just have a look down the bottom, because I'll show you some pictures of that now. Okay, so probably the third one that I've got is probably very similar to the 007 car, in that when you open both sides of the butt of this, which you've got to do evenly, then you've got the car that lifts out of the center like that, which is pretty cool. So there we go, we've got that Batmobile, and then of course push the sides in together. You've got to do it evenly so it goes in properly. Come on. Alright, here we go, got to get it started. So there we go, so we go back in the cave, I guess, and then as we pull this open, there we go, it pops up. So another cool Comic-Con Batman piece, that one there. Okay, and now the last one, this is a newer one, so that's probably why I like it so much, but this is actually the DC Comics 4-car set, and it's got Batman, Robin, the Penguin and Catwoman. So let me just crack this open, I'll get closer, and it opens like this, and there we go. So we've got the comic representations on the left hand side. Now have a look at some of these cars. So there we go, we've got Robin up the top, and then the Penguin in the van, Catwoman in the Cadillac drag car, and then just have a look at this Batmobile Co down the bottom. Have a look at those cool wheels, the Batmobile symbol on the wheels there. I might take a picture of this too and show you, just so I can make sure that you can see all of these vehicles so clearly, because yeah, this is actually one beautiful set and a new arrival for me. So alright, so I've kept a couple of the better ones for last, but before we do that, those Star Wars ones I'll keep till last because they are spot on. They're probably my favourites of all of these, but I've also got the Back to the Future and the A-Team one. But let's just first get a bit of Star Trek. Now, this was available, they mustn't have sold too many of these at Comic Con, but this is the Enterprise and the Hangar. So, once again, we are flipping that down, and we have the hanger that makes a base. So there we go. So we've got the die-cast version of the Enterprise, which is of course really quite accurate. It's a very good model. And then of course, once again, we close these over to form the hanger. And that was actually available for quite a while on the Red Line Club. So they mustn't have sold many of them, or they overproduced them, because that one is quite easy and quite cheap to pick up, but I had to grab that no less. So, moving on to the next, I would have to say, contemporary Star Trek piece. Now, if you look here, we've got, for those of you who don't know, the old Mr. Spock, or Dr. Spock, some will call it. I'm not a Star Trek guy, so don't flame me for that. So his name was Leonard Nimoy, the actor, and there's a great story. Apparently, and do correct me if I'm wrong, this photograph that was taken was actually one of the National Geographic's Photos of the Year, or won some media award, because when they, now I'll just open this up while I'm chatting to you. So when they were filming an episode of Star Trek, or maybe one of the movies, because there was many successful movies obviously, right? When they were filming, the actor Leonard Nimoy, there we go, it comes in its circle there, and then of course you pop the top, and there is the piece here. So I'll just show you that. So apparently the actor Leonard Nimoy, he drove in real life this black Buick Riviera. And of course we've got rear riders and pretty slick paint, and then we've got the figurine of Spock himself sitting at the front of the car. And apparently what had happened is they were filming an episode, and between takes or between scenes that he was in, he just went back to his car and just in full costume with his pointy ears on, and just leaned on the bonnet of his car there with his arm folded, and someone took a photograph. And when that photograph ended up circulating, I guess, you know, that mixture of space and reality was a key ingredient to that photograph becoming one of the pictures of the year for that year, and it won all sorts of awards. So they thought they'd commemorate that by building this Comic-Con piece, which is a really cool piece. So if you can get hold of one of those, if you're a Trekkie, absolutely fantastic piece. So folks, as I go through all of these pieces and all of these parts of my collection, as little stories come to mind, I'll stop and sort of share those with you, because sometimes when you have a Hot Wheels and you have it displayed and someone comes and says, "Is there anything special about this car?" It's always great if there's some sort of story behind it, where you know, you picked it up from some obscure place, or maybe you got it for a bargain, or, you know, like that previous piece, you know, it won a photograph of the year, and so they ended up making the actual model with a little miniature Spock on it. So fantastic conversation piece. And so when I'm showing people my Comic-Con stuff, they love all that sort of stuff because it gives the actual car and the cars in your collection, it gives it new life. It's not just all of a sudden an inanimate object or just a car in A to B. It actually has a bit of flavour and a bit of personality. So talking about personality, have a look at these. How well presented is this? Alright, the A-Team. So of course we know that everyone recognises the A-Team van. So here we go in obviously a plutonium looking sort of, oh not plutonium, what do I say? One of these cases that looks like it's concealing something that's very valuable, and of course this probably is. So I can pull this out of the display case that's packed with foam here, and of course we've got the A-Team, pretty well known for their explosions, and that is the A-Team van. Of course muddied, it's got the dirt on it, and it's got the explosions in the background. And yeah, so I was fortunate enough to have mine signed by the designer. I might actually show you, take a picture of that so you can have a look at it up close. Okay, Back to the Future. This is the one obviously in the plutonium case. I must have been looking at that when I mentioned the A-Team one before. So have a look at this. So in a case, Back to the Future, radioactive, crack him open, and there he is. So I'll take this one out too for you. So obviously in a great container packed with foam, I'll put that down, and then let's have a look at this one. So there we go. Back to the Future time machine. There we go. We've got the clock tower and lightning strike in the background, and of course the flames up the road as they're shooting off into the future there. So what I'll do is I'll take a picture of this one too, and I'll set it in set. You'll notice these pictures will be coming up before I start talking about them. So when I do start talking about them, you can actually see what I'm talking about. Okay, so I've got two of these pieces to show you last of all, and they are both Star Wars pieces. So what we have here is we have the trench run. Okay, so it's got that, and then of course I'll take off the plastic box. And if you recall, let's get technical here, Star Wars Episode 4, which is the first movie that came out 1977, 1978, long time ago. In the final scene, when Luke is destroying the Death Star, he does what they call the trench run, which is he takes his X-Wing down into the trench, and he's got a metre by metre porthole. He's got to shoot his laser through there and destroy the whole Death Star, which is that big circular planet destroyer space station. And of course he's being chased by Darth Vader and of course the TIE fighters. So what Hot Wheels have done, of course, they've included some of the classic track that they've been making since just about the start, and they've painted, well, that's clear, the track, and then of course the background is of course the Death Star trench, and we have sound effects for this. So you press the button. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a little bit of a guest coming and pressing our button, and her reactions to these things are usually priceless. So hopefully you'll enjoy that. Are you happy?
Huh?
Are we in a happy mood?
Yay!
Are we in a happy mood?
So tired, Daddy.
Oh, okay. So listen, I need a trusty assistant. All right? Are you up for task?
Yeah.
Huh?
She's tired. What is that? What is it?
Okay. Ah, remember this one? Okay. So, all right. Can we just get your balloon out of the way? Put that there. Just hold on to that. Okay. So what we've got here. Can you get us all in frame?
Yeah.
Okay. So, look at this. The trench run. Maybe I should leave this plastic on. Ready? Oh, look at this. No, you can't take the car. So as I was saying before, it's got the authentic sounds of the TIE fighters and the X-Wing, and reenacting. It's a pity they don't move, but you can't have everything. Hey, just press it once, Sonny. Amali, look at this. I'm lucky they're stuck down. Isn't that noise?
Cool sound.
You want to see where that goes? There we go. So that is the trench run, one of my other favourite pieces. All right. Okay, so the last piece I'm going to show you today is a special piece for me. I've got a mate down south who basically bought this for me because he knew I wanted it. So this place is close to my heart. So Steve, thank you, mate. You get a message on my YouTube channel. And this is from him, and it'll always be something very, very special to me. So what it is the Darth Vader lightsaber. So I think I need 2 hands for this. So I'll just chop my finger off. So basically the lightsaber opens up from both sides to reveal the stylized Darth Vader character car. Now this also has a great authentic sound effect. So I'll get my trusty assistant to show you how this works in a minute. And as I say, this is one of my favourite pieces, and one of the best things is the sound is authentic because it's fully licensed and correct.
Alright.
Okay, so you got your balloon. You're not in a happy mood, but what we do have is we have, if you remember, trusty assistant here, we have got lightsaber. So she's going, sorry. Okay, so can you see that clearly? Okay,
yeah.
So can you find the button? Oh. Whoa! What do you think of that?
That's really cool.
It's Darth Vader. Hey? Just wait till it's finished. Oh, here we go. We're going to go again. Hey? What do you think?
Wow!
So we've got the Darth Vader car, we've got the authentic Darth Vader breathing, and of course the authentic sounds of the
wow!
what I should say, the lightsaber. So there we go. So we're all
That's
done with that.
really cool.
Huh? What do you think of that?
What do you call that one?
Wow, it's a lightsaber.
Lightsaber. Okay.
Yeah, but it's Darth Vader's. Oh, so there won't be too much batteries if I leave this with you, will there? You like that?
Yay! Alright.
Okay, friends, so that brings to a close the Comic Con episode. I've got more Comic Con stuff coming, and I've got a few that I didn't show you today that I'll combine to make another episode that'll be Comic Con episode 2. So guys, thank you for joining and subscribing. Everyone I've talked to so far has given me great feedback, so I'm going to keep coming at you with more info and more interesting cars for you to just sort of have a look at, and I'll just be sharing my collection and sharing any of my knowledge or any of the stories I picked up along the way. So if you like what you're seeing, please share it. Let my channel grow, and hopefully I can be sharing it far and wide, and you know, all of the stuff that I've got is here to be shared. I don't want to just keep it locked in a box. I'm fortunate enough to have a little bit of space where I'm at, so I can actually spread things out and be able to grab stuff and film it and show you how everything works. So as I say, thank you very much for joining. The feedback's been fantastic. So people sending me messages saying, keep it up, keep it up, keep it up. We're really liking what you're putting up. So thank you so much, friends. I really appreciate it. And I'll be coming at you again pretty soon with another episode. Thank you very much. Please like and subscribe and share my channel. Thank you. See ya.